There are moments in life when the ground beneath your feet simply vanishes. When everything you've built, every person you love, every familiar comfort is ripped away in an instant, leaving behind a terrifying empty void. For Anya, a vibrant, young woman who had it all, that moment arrived with brutal, unforgiving force. A catastrophic event, a twist of fate so cruel it seemed impossible, left her utterly shattered, adrift in a world that felt alien and cold. She woke up to a reality where her home was gone, her loved ones lost, and her entire future had evaporated. She faced the impossible, rebuilding a life from absolute zero, without a compass, without a map, and with a heart heavy with grief. Every memory became a painful echo, every future plan a mocking phantom. People offered pity, but pity felt hollow in the face of such profound devastation. She was lost, a ghost moving through the ruins of her former life, convinced that hope was a luxury she no longer deserved, that her strength had been utterly drained, and that her story was destined to end in despair. But what if, even in the deepest, most unfathomable grief, a tiny ember of the human spirit can still flicker? What if, through an act of profound courage, an unexpected hand of kindness, and an unyielding commitment to honor what was lost, a path to light can be forged? From the ashes? This is the extraordinary, raw, and utterly triumphant story of Anya. It's a testament to the quiet suffering many endure, the profound strength it takes to face unimaginable loss, and the remarkable journey of how one soul, stripped of everything, found a way to not just survive, but to rebuild, to inspire, and to discover how she found strength after losing everything. Prepare to be incredibly moved, because this is a heartfelt chronicle about the unyielding power of resilience and the human spirit. Anya lived a life filled with laughter, love, and the comforting predictability of family. She was a kindergarten teacher, her days brightened by the innocent smiles of her students. Her evenings were spent in the cozy home she shared with her husband, Ben, a kind and devoted artist, and their two beautiful children, Leo, a curious 5-year-old, and Mia, a bubbly 2-year-old. Their home was always filled with the aroma of home-cooked meals, the joyful chaos of toys, and the warmth of unwavering love. They had just celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary, dreaming of future travels, growing old together, watching their children flourish. Then came the storm. Not just any storm, but a Category 5 hurricane, unprecedented in its ferocity, that swept through their coastal town without mercy. Warnings were issued, evacuations urged, but the speed and intensity of the hurricane caught many off guard. Anya and Ben, with their children and Anya's elderly parents, tried to evacuate, but they were trapped on a flooded road, their car engulfed by rising waters. The next thing Anya remembered was waking up in a hospital, the sterile smell burning her nostrils. Her body ached, bandages wrapped around her arm and head. She looked around frantically, searching for Ben, for Leo, for Mia, for her parents. The silence in the room was deafening. A kind nurse, her eyes filled with pity, gently explained what had happened. Their car had been swept away. Rescuers found Anya clinging to a piece of debris, barely alive. Her family, they were gone, all of them. Her husband, her children, her parents. The entire world she knew had been swallowed by the raging waters. The news hit her like a physical blow, worse than any injury. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't comprehend. The sheer magnitude of the loss was unfathomable. Her home, a place of so many cherished memories, was gone too, reduced to rubble and debris. She had lost everything. Her entire life, her entire future, had been obliterated in a single devastating night. She was the sole survivor, left adrift in a world that felt utterly empty, completely without purpose. The days that followed were a blur of unimaginable grief. She attended a mass funeral for those lost in the storm, a sea of broken faces, a symphony of unspoken pain. She spoke to social workers, disaster relief personnel, their words of support sounding distant and hollow. She was placed in a temporary shelter surrounded by other survivors, but she felt profoundly alone, isolated in her unique, overwhelming loss. Their stories, though tragic, couldn't compare to the void in her heart. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. The pain was a living entity, consuming her every thought, every breath. She questioned why she had survived, why she had been spared while her entire family was taken. She felt immense guilt, a crushing burden of being the one left behind. She just wanted to disappear, to join her loved ones in the silent abyss. Months turned into a year, but Anya remained trapped in the wreckage of her grief. She moved from the shelter to a tiny, government-subsidized apartment in a new town, far from the coastal ruins that haunted her. She tried to work, taking a part-time job at a local grocery store, but her mind often drifted, her eyes hollow. Laughter from other families, the sight of children playing, the casual affection between couples, all of it was a searing reminder of what she had lost, a cruel mockery of her emptiness. She lived in a fog, a perpetual state of numbness. Her apartment was bare, echoing the emptiness within her. She rarely socialized, avoiding questions, avoiding pity. Her few remaining relatives, distant cousins who lived states away, called occasionally, offering sympathy, but Anya found it hard to connect. How could anyone understand a loss so absolute? How could anyone fill a void so profound? The holidays were agonizing. Christmas, once a joyous celebration with Ben and the children, now brought a fresh wave of unbearable pain. She'd spend the day in silent solitude, clutching old photographs, reliving memories that both comforted and tormented her. The world moved on, but Anya felt stuck, forever anchored to that catastrophic day. She saw no future, only an endless continuation of her grief. Every morning was a battle to simply get out of bed, to perform the basic functions of survival. She felt no purpose, no reason to continue. Her strength had been utterly drained, replaced by an overwhelming weariness. She believed her story was over, her chapter closed. There was no light left for her Dot. She often walked to a local park, sitting by a quiet pond, watching the ducks, finding a strange solace in the indifference of nature. It was a place where she could cry without judgment, where she could simply exist in her pain. She carried the weight of her entire family's memories, and it was crushing her. She yearned for peace, for an end to the pervasive ache in her heart. She had nothing left to lose, and no reason to fight Dot. It was during one of these solitary visits to the park, on a particularly bleak autumn afternoon, that a tiny, unexpected flicker of life pierced through Anya's profound numbness. She was sitting on her usual bench, watching a group of children playing nearby, their laughter a painful echo of her own lost joys. She instinctively looked away, trying to shield herself from the reminders. But then she heard a voice, a small, tentative voice filled with a quiet urgency. "Excuse me, ma'am? Are you okay?" Anya looked up, startled. Standing beside her bench was a little girl, no older than 7, with bright, curious eyes and a shy smile. She was holding a small, vibrant blue wildflower, plucked from the grass. Anya blinked, her mind slowed to process the intrusion. She rarely had direct interactions, especially with children. I'm fine," Anya murmured, her voice rough from disuse. She tried to offer a polite smile, but it felt stiff, unnatural. The little girl, however, didn't seem deterred by Anya's reticence. She simply extended the blue wildflower towards Anya, her small hand trembling slightly. "My mommy says blue flowers mean happy thoughts," she whispered, her eyes wide and earnest. "You look sad. So ... here." Anya stared at the flower, at the child's tiny, outstretched hand. It was such a simple gesture, so pure, so unexpected. It wasn't pity. It was genuine, innocent compassion. The little girl simply saw a need and offered a small bit of beauty. And in that precise moment, something shifted within Anya. The heavy blanket of grief, the suffocating numbness, they parted just for a second. Anya slowly, hesitantly reached out and took the flower. Her fingers brushed the child's. The blue petals felt soft, real, vibrant against her skin. "Thank you," Anya whispered, her voice choked with an emotion she hadn't felt in so long. Tenderness. The little girl smiled, a wide, innocent smile that radiated pure warmth. She didn't ask for thanks, didn't linger. She simply smiled again, a tiny nod, then turned and skipped away, back to her games, leaving Anya alone on the bench. Holding the blue wildflower, her entire world subtly, irrevocably shifted. The silence was no longer deafening. It was filled with the faint echo of a child's laughter and the gentle beauty of a single blue flower. Hope, a tiny, fragile seed, had just been planted in the barren landscape of her heart. The blue wildflower became Anya's most precious possession. She pressed it between the pages of her favorite book, a silent reminder of that profound moment of unexpected connection. The little girl remained a mystery, an anonymous angel. But her simple act had cracked open Anya's carefully guarded heart, allowing a tiny sliver of light to seep in. Anya started returning to the park regularly, not just to grieve, but to observe, to seek out other small moments of human connection. She still felt the pangs of loss, the sharp ache of memory. But now, a new feeling coexisted with her grief, a fragile sense of wonder, a quiet curiosity about the world around her. She began to see the small acts of kindness she had once overlooked. A hand held, a shared smile, a quiet gesture of support. The world wasn't as empty as she thought. She had just stopped looking for its hidden beauty. She started volunteering at a local community garden, drawn to the quiet rhythm of nurturing life. It was here that she found solace in the soil, in the growth of tiny seeds. She saw resilience in every sprout pushing through the earth, a mirror to her own fragile emergence from despair. The garden became her sanctuary, a place where she could rebuild not just plants, but herself. She connected with other volunteers, sharing quiet conversations about gardening, slowly, tentatively, building new relationships. She learned that vulnerability, when shared, created connection, not weakness. Her natural empathy, once directed towards her family, now found a new outlet. She started spending time with elderly residents in the garden, listening to their stories, sharing her own quiet reflections. She found purpose in her new connections, realizing that helping others, simply by being present and listening, offered a unique kind of healing. She wasn't replacing her lost family. She was creating new bonds, weaving new threads into the tapestry of her life. One afternoon, a new family started visiting the garden regularly, a mother and her 2 children. The little girl, with bright, curious eyes, reminded Anya of the child who had given her the blue flower. Anya felt a strange pull. She watched them play, a quiet joy bubbling up inside her. She offered a small smile to the mother, a gesture of shared understanding. And as the little girl, full of energy, ran past her, Anya felt a profound connection, a quiet gratitude for the unseen forces that had led her to this moment, to this renewed sense of purpose. Anya eventually returned to teaching, but her focus shifted. She became a kindergarten teacher, specializing in emotional development, creating a classroom environment where children felt safe to express their feelings, to explore empathy, to understand the beauty of kindness. She taught them about resilience, about finding strength in vulnerability, using her own experiences to inspire them. She encouraged them to share small acts of kindness, to plant seeds of hope for others, just as a small child had done for her. She never forgot her family, her lost loved ones. Their memory was a guiding light, a constant source of love. She created a small memorial garden in her backyard, filled with blue wildflowers, a vibrant tribute to their lives and a symbol of her own hard-won strength. She understood that grief wasn't about forgetting, but about learning to carry your loss with grace and finding new ways to honor the love that remains. Her strength wasn't about pretending the pain wasn't there. It was about acknowledging it and choosing to live with an open heart anyway. Anya's story is a powerful reminder that even after the most devastating losses, the human spirit possesses an extraordinary capacity for resilience, for rebuilding, for finding light in the darkest corners. It shows us that strength isn't about escaping grief, but about moving through it, learning from it, and transforming its lessons into a profound source of empathy and purpose. When everything is taken away, what remains is the core of who you are and the unwavering power of your spirit to seek connection and to choose hope. Her tale is a beacon of light for anyone facing unimaginable loss, for anyone who feels that their life has been shattered beyond repair. It reminds us that healing is a journey, not a destination, and that along that path, small, unseen acts of kindness, like a single blue wildflower, can emerge from the most unexpected places, guiding us back to a life filled with meaning, connection, and profound gratitude. Because when you find strength after losing everything, your story becomes a testament to the boundless capacity of the human heart, capable of finding beauty and purpose amidst the ruins. So, the next time you feel utterly lost or witness someone grappling with profound despair, remember Anya and the blue wildflower. Remember that even when the world crumbles, the seeds of hope can still bloom, watered by an unexpected act of compassion, reminding us that we are never truly alone and that our spirit is far stronger than any loss it will ever endure. If Anya's incredible story of how she found strength after losing everything touched your heart, if it reignited a spark of resilience or reminded you of the profound power of healing after loss, please take a moment to like this video. Your likes help us share these powerful true stories of transformation and hope with more people who need to hear them. And if you're moved by true tales of the human spirit, extraordinary courage, and life's beautiful comebacks, be sure to subscribe to Heartfelt Chronicles. We bring you inspiring stories every week that remind us that even after losing everything, you can still find your way back to strength. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another journey with us. Have you ever found strength after immense loss or witnessed someone else's incredible journey of healing? Share your powerful experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Let's create a space for support and shared understanding. Thank you for watching. And remember, even in the greatest emptiness, your spirit holds the power to bloom anew. See you in the next video.